there's this thing that like with fans right now where it's like if you don't quote unquote respect their quarterback, it's like you're against them. And I find that like very puzzling that you can't just like view a team holistically.
Because I think they need us to believe in their quarterback so that thereby they are legitimizing their belief in their quarterback because they don't think they can get it done if they don't have the quarterback.
It's not an indictment of Tua to note that guys are wide ass open. That's a great thing. You should be happy that your quarterback is throwing to wide open guys.
There are 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and probably 3 times that number when you count in practice squad players, second stringers, and third stringers. But unless your name is Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, or Lamar Jackson, sports journalists don't seem to want to talk about you all that much. Sure, nowadays Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts are getting some press, but they're not in the same conversation that Mahomes, Jackson, and Allen are in. Even the old hats like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are losing their flavor with the sports journals these days. But none of them have the same kind of notoriety surrounding them as one quarterback in the NFL. That being, of course, Tua Tagovailoa. And there's one really big reason why, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. Here's a Google trend search over the last 30 days. Tua's search volume is in the green. Other than when Josh Allen got hurt, Tua has consistently been the most searched quarterback. So when the media crunches analytics, they know this as well. Online searches equal eyeballs. Eyeballs equal advertisers. Advertisers equals money. It's easy to see if you want to make more money, talk about stuff that people are actually interested in. So predictably, sports journals now are talking about Tua Tagovailoa everywhere. And here's a side note that you have to understand. If there's a lot of people looking to talk about Tua Tagovailoa, if they're looking for information on Tua, it doesn't necessarily mean it's all positive. So taking a contrarian position and being the anti-Tua is extremely lucrative. And so then you have the biggest names in sports journalism are targeting Tua Tagovailoa and not necessarily in a positive light. There's a bunch of them out there doing it, but a couple of them showed up on my radar screen today. First, let's discuss this guy, Ben Solak. In his last video, he said that Tua Tagovailoa is not an elite quarterback and that the Miami offense has an expiration date on it. He said that the Miami offense would be much better suited with an elite quarterback that he defines as being Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. Those guys are all elite quarterbacks in his mind. So if that's true, and that Tua is not an elite quarterback and all these other guys are elite quarterbacks, why haven't they won Super Bowls other than Patrick Mahomes, of course? Why haven't the Bills, the Chargers, and the Ravens won any Super Bowls with these quarterbacks that are elite? Are their head coaches stupid? What's the problem? If that's what it takes to win a Super Bowl, one of these elite quarterbacks, why haven't they won any? We don't have to spend too much time wondering what the hell Ben Solak is talking about because he really doesn't know himself, and he told us that. In response to a question as to what was the best decision he's ever made in his career, this is how Ben Solak responded. Unironically, joining Twitter. Every single job opportunity I ever got was from being on Twitter. I learned how to write from Twitter. I learned how football worked from Twitter. Seriously? Do we have to go much further? You learned how football worked from Twitter? Did you just really put that out there to the public to see? You've just blown all of your credentials. I only have one question. Where did you learn about sex? Never mind. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Then there's Mina. And by the way, has anyone ever seen Mina and Ben Solak together in the same place at the same time? Just asking. Anyway, she decided to wade back into the Tuaverse with some peak insanity. You know, I respect people who have a different opinion than I do. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. What I have a problem with is if you can't stand behind your opinion. Mina said that Tua's stats and the reason the Dolphins are winning is because Tua is throwing to wide-ass open wide receivers. Her words. Then she denied everything, denied ever saying it, and she ran back to the comfort of Twitter to be amongst her simps after she got called out. Judge for yourself. Listen right here to what she says.
It's not an indictment of Tua to note that guys are wide ass open. That's a great thing. You should be happy that your quarterback is throwing to wide open guys. There's this thing with fans right now where it's like, if you don't quote unquote respect their quarterback, it's like you're against them. And I find that very puzzling that you can't just view a team holistically.
Because I think they need us to believe in their quarterback so that thereby they are legitimizing their belief in their quarterback, because they don't think they can get it done if they don't have the quarterback.
Yes, you can indeed view a team holistically. I don't have a problem with that. But you can't ignore what Tua Tagovailoa has been doing on the field and say it's just a product of the team and a product of the scheme he's playing under. That's just insulting. And I have to correct Bomani Jones. No, dude, nobody I know, no Dolphins fan I have ever met needs your validation for their belief in Tua Tagovailoa. That's truly pompous and pathetic. And what's worse, I bet most Dolphins fans don't even know who you are. But wait, it gets better. There's more.
This combination of speed with all the skill players, Waddle, Hill, Mostert, it just completely changes the math on everything. I think that, Mike McDaniel's really good, and I love seeing. I mean, I don't know. I'm playing linebacker against that offense. You might as well just not step on the field, man. You're just wrong. I mean, it's just dudes taking wrong angles on literally every play because they're so confused and all the motion and stuff. But I mean, it's not an indictment of Tua to acknowledge that this offense is you're putting him in literally the best position maybe a quarterback has ever been in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, she said that. She said that Tua is winning because he's arguably been put in the best situation of any quarterback in NFL history. You see how these people expose themselves? Seriously? NFL history? Let's look at something here. I remember Joe Montana throwing to Jerry Rice, John Taylor, had a great halfback called Roger Craig, an all-world tight end in Dwight Clark, and they were pretty good. How about Troy Aikman with Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper and, Emmitt Smith, the number one running back arguably ever. Maybe we should talk about Terry Bradshaw with, oh my God, all-world Lynn Swann, John Stallworth, and of course, Franco Harris. You see, these people don't have any knowledge of history. They don't understand where the NFL has come from and what it is today. They just think that what they're seeing today in Mahomes and Herbert and Josh Allen, that's it. There's nobody else in history who could be as good as these guys. I don't care if Mina thinks Tua is shit. I don't care if Stephen A. thinks Tua sucks. They are certainly entitled to their opinion. My problem is, why do you have to be so friggin' dishonest? When the Dolphins lost 3 in a row after Tua got hurt, you could barely find a story about the Miami Dolphins. Definitely you weren't seeing much about Tua Tagovailoa other than telling him to never come back again. But now that the Dolphins are on a 4-game hot streak and they've won 4 in a row, coupled with their early stint of 3 in a row, oh boy, everyone's got to talk about Tua again. You know why too, don't you? Yep, these Google searches. Tua is now being talked about as an MVP candidate. He's won 7 games, 7-0 in the games he started and finished, and he's on a 4-game winning streak right now. And the NFL world is looking at the Dolphins and Tua, and it's forcing these sports journals to cover Tua, albeit to their disdain. And even though many of us have the receipts, they don't care. They'll chase those eyeballs and those clicks anywhere because those eyeballs mean money. And they're fine peddling hypocrisy, except when Dolphins fans call them out. Welcome to the new media. We all have cameras and microphones and smartphones. We are telling people what we believe. You can as well. I don't care that you guys have a problem with Tua. Just be honest. If you're out here talking, be real. Otherwise, people can see you for what you are, and they're gonna call you out. And that's when you keep running to Twitter looking for reinforcements. Be real, and you won't have to worry about being called out. So what do you guys think about things? Do you think people like Mina and Ben Solak are okay by making their bones on the back of Tua Tagovailoa, trashing him every chance they get? I like to know how you guys feel about it. And if you'd like to watch any of my other videos on the Miami Dolphins, there's 1 or 2 of them right here you can click on. Talk to you soon. Fins up.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?